Slime Beast, why do you feel the need to answer critics? Don't you have anything better to do with your life? No, I live in the South and I don't have a sister, so what am I supposed to do with my time? But Slime Beast, while you're answering critics, liars, and literally who's, you could be doing something productive, like writing. I've written like 300 stories, so I think I'm good. But Slime Beast, if you answer critics, you're going to end up looking quite the fool. I don't care how I look to you. That may be a shock to some people. If you're going to end this video thinking I'm an awful person, it's most likely that you already thought that before this video was even made. Why on earth would I want the support of a bunch of judgmental pieces of Okay, so that was quickly leaving the realm of cringe comedy intro and entering the realm of legitimate schizophrenia, so I'm gonna just move on here. Every so often, someone posts up a reading or review of my written work. Now, I don't respond to 95% of them. However, when someone gets stuff so bafflingly wrong that I feel the need to step in, well, I step in, and that's the only ones that people seem to notice, are the ones I reply to. Not all the other ones that just go flying by. The one or two things I reply to in a year are the ones that people notice. But yeah, creators aren't supposed to defend their work or themselves from criticism. I know. It's a one-way street where you get to say anything you want, and I, a non-human fictional construct of your imagination, get to sit back, smile, and applaud your efforts. Welcome to social media. But I'm different, though. I'm not like other girls. So Nick's Fears recently posted a video about one of my stories. The only story of mine that anyone actually knows or cares about. Abandoned by Disney. Did you say it with me? I should have said to say it with me before I said it. But I didn't. So I hope you said it with me. If you didn't, go back, rewind, say it with me. Now, if you just follow my content and don't know who Nick's Fears is, I can sum it up by saying that she's a friend of Nightmind, who I went out of my way to expressly defend when she accused him of abusing her trust and violating her personal boundaries. Oh, do you want some good boy points just for being friendly and supportive towards someone? For showing the most basic human kindness toward them? Yes, actually. Yes, I would appreciate the same given back to me. Why would you even think it was a good idea to ask that? Suffice to say, the video was ripe for the picking when it comes to making a response video. When you read a story for any reason other than to read, understand, follow, and hopefully enjoy it, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to misinterpret things, you're going to miss information, and so on. It happens all the time on the Fear Fiction podcast, which I co-host. It's just the nature of reading a story for the purpose other than enjoyment. You self-distract when you're specifically trying to think of funny criticisms to inject so that your video isn't just a bare-bones narration. So yeah, people make mistakes. Bad Creepypasta does. Nick's Fears does. I do when I'm on the Fear Fiction podcast, linked in the description below. The difference is this. I don't make fun of or attack authors, and I don't proactively look for problems just so I can have something to point to. When you venture into that arena, you're stepping beyond your place as a reviewer and into the realm of wannabe drama YouTuber. I'm on a review podcast. I make review videos. I am directly telling you where the line is between an honest review and dishonest incitement, because I do this shit. It comes from first-hand experience. I am a reviewer. Further, it's important to remember that, in the early days of Creepypasta, no one was really anticipating being famous, despite what Manic Pixie Disney shills like Jenny Nicholson would say. These were 4chan posts, forum posts, hacked out with little to no regard for attaining celebrity status. I know it's hard for most YouTubers to imagine creating something for any reason other than money and recognition, but yeah. Actually, when you posted Abandoned by Disney, you opened yourself up to criticism. Oh, fuck, this motherfucker's back again. Sure, but it was a post on a friend's message board. I mean, you can criticize a message board post if you want, just any random thread out there on the internet, I guess. If I knew it was going to become mega popular and make everyone mad by being popular despite its flaws, I probably would have done more drafts. Well, you should have polished the story until it was perfect anyway. No, it was a post on a friend's message board. Fuck off. But the story became popular, so now it's fair game for criticism. Yes, but only if you remember it's a post on a friend's message board, and not Stephen King's latest hardcover. If you don't take into account what you are reviewing, then your opinion is honestly dog shit. Go to a production of Fiddler on the Roof at your local high school and give it the same critical treatment as a Martin Scorsese film, you dunce. You absolute fucking dunce. Oh, schizophrenia, right. Now, time and again, I've made the same basic statement. I don't mind reviews. I like reviews. As a creator, getting a bad review is better than getting no response at all. Bring it the fuck on. However, my issue has always been with the mental dishonesty of some reviewers, and their tendency to incite their fans against a creator for no obvious reason other than attaining traffic and ad revenue through controversy. Why do some reviewers feel the need to read so poorly that they actually forget what they've read? And why do they hold an author accountable for their own shitty memory? The wildest part is that they chose Emerald Isle for this.
Near the beachside city of Emerald Isle in North Carolina. Near the beachside city of...
I've been to Emerald Isle, and I spent time there. I know what Emerald Isle is like. I live 4 hours away from Emerald Isle. Now, despite the fact I live a 4-hour drive from Emerald Isle, you could still classify me as living near Emerald Isle if you live in another state or another country. If you're looking at me from Afghanistan, I live really close to Emerald Isle. If you're looking at me from Ohio, I live pretty near Emerald Isle. So here's a tip for any authors out there. If you want to create a fake location, don't tell people exactly where it is, because then it'll be easily disproven. That's why you use the term near. You use weasel words that aren't really telling you much information. Somewhere in North Carolina, on or near the East Coast, possibly toward the middle of the state, there might be some palace built somewhere in that location. It tells you fucking nothing. Now, of course, I could go on at length and make a 2-hour video responding to all the inaccuracies in this review, but as Nick Spheres says at the beginning of the video, she doesn't know everything about creepypasta, doesn't know a lot about creepypasta, knows some stuff about creepypasta, etc. and so forth. Yeah, so I'm not going to go on about that for 2 hours, even though I could, and you all know I could. Instead, what I'm going to do is address some of the comments on the video. I bet you didn't see that coming. Now, why would I address comments on a video in a video? Well, the reason is that there is a certain amount of bullshit that gets spread around because of videos like this. Because of videos like Jenny Nicholson's Drooling Dumb Fest that she uploaded because she had nothing better to say that day, and because she was friends with Max Landis, who I turned down for the rights to my stories, and, you know, because of people posting on social media different things based on past disagreements with things I've said or whatever. So, yeah, I'm going to turn this video around on its ass. I'm going to flip the script, and I'm going to make it about some of these things that people like to post, and I'm just going to debunk them just for fun at the end of the video. Alright, let me just put on my petty glasses so that I can read these comments and be incredibly petty about what people are saying about my work, yes. The one and only Michael McCormick says, I said it once and I'll say it 1,000 times. Good, I'm sure I'm sure a lot of people are thankful for that. The stupid photo-negative Mickey Mouse is the death sentence of this story. The death sentence! Every other problem is negligible in comparison. Hey! If you don't like the end of the story, that's fucking cool. Whatever, who cares? It's great. For every one person who dislikes the story, there are 5 who like it. Whatever. I'm happy with that ratio. I'm very lucky to have attained that ratio. They should have just made it a very, very old Mickey costume. Why? For what reason? And there, in the middle of the floor, was a Mickey Mouse costume, but it was, bum bum bum, very old. Why? If you've seen a picture of a vintage Disney mascot suit, you'd know just how unnerving those things were. Yeah, but see, the thing is, then your problem with the end of the story would be, why was there an old Mickey Mouse costume down there instead of why was the photo negative one down there? And would be if they kept in a damp, abandoned building for decades. Okay, so this is the thing. I don't mind stuff like this that much. Because this person isn't being an asshole. This person is just saying what they don't like about it. And that is a good example of a good, bad review. I don't know if that makes sense. But for people like this, I would say, and this is without any irony or sarcasm or whatever you want to call it, I would say, write a story about an old vintage Disney mascot costume in a Disney park. Do it. You can do it. That's your idea. You own that. And I would encourage you to write that story. Again, unironically, I'm not being an asshole. I say this to pretty much everybody who says to me, Slime Beast, you should write a story about this. And I'm like, you should write it. That's your idea. Run with it. Do it. Become an author. Now, maybe this person already is an author, and I just insulted them. But whatever. Now we've got Hallowed Jess. Hallowed Jess is a little bit of a dishonest prick. Honestly, the scariest thing about this story, if you're a Disney park fan, are just the sheer amount of inconsistencies the story has in regards to company park history. There's one, and it's that the sign says mascots only instead of characters only, and that's taken care of in a following story. But there are no other inconsistencies because I have made up the resort. You can't have inconsistencies in a made-up location, Hallowed Jess, but nice try. But I guess the confidence the author has in lying right to the reader's face is no surprise given the author's MRA givings. Did you guys know that I'm supposedly a men's rights activist? I didn't know this either. So what Hallowed Jess's problem is that they have either heard second or third hand rumors or some such thing. Basically what happens is when you are on Twitter or on Discord or on YouTube or whatever, and you say one thing that someone disagrees with, one thing, suddenly you are an MRA neo-Nazi alt-right Trump supporter. Fucking good, give me a goddamn break. But yeah, so what are my MRA givings? What are my MRA opinions? I would sure like Hallowed Jess to tell me in the comments below. Write them out. Tell me what my beliefs are, because I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Then we've got N. Kemp here. Now, N. Kemp has a point here that I just... I can't resist it. It's silly of me to even bother. I'm not trying to be a prick, but N. Kemp says the most unrealistic part is that they wrote a bidet being in an American public bathroom. It's not a public bathroom. It's at a fucking resort. It's at a resort built in the shape of a palace where tourists and vacationers are going, and you're surprised that there's a bidet in the bathroom. It's not out of the realm of possibility, is the thing. Hey everybody, it's super old Slime Beast from the future. When I'm editing this video, I decided to look up whether or not there were bidets in Disney resorts, and there are. It just depends on how swanky your room accommodations are. But the story doesn't say how swanky the area was, so you can assume it would be swanky, I guess. But yeah, so bidets do exist in Disney resorts. Why am I putting so much work into this? Tony Ventura says, Rila Kuma in the background with a 1,000-yard stare as May describes this weird FNAF nightmare. This is something that I wanted to address because it does come up a lot where people say, Abandoned by Disney, what a ripoff of FNAF, or that's just like Five Nights at Freddy's, blah, blah, blah. First of all, Abandoned by Disney, not Abysme, Abandoned by Disney came before Five Nights at Freddy's. Not only that, but Five Nights at Freddy's suspiciously came out a few months after the story with photos of the animatronics pulling their heads off. Then we've got Mary Fluker, whose name is almost spot on. I used to follow Slime Beast's work until he had a bit of a men's rights meltdown. Again with the MRA shit. See, this is the thing. These are people who have spoken in a private Discord or spoken, somewhere else on social media and have shared second-hand, third-hand, fourth-hand rumors. I have no idea what they are saying is a men's rights belief or men's rights meltdown. What is it? Tell me in the comments, because I would love to know. If you think that I think, I don't know, men shouldn't be shot in the face, maybe that's a right. That's a men's right, I guess. I don't know. Is having any belief that human beings have rights and men are human beings, is that counting? I don't know. Before that, he was getting frustrated about creepypasta channels profiting off his work. Yeah, I'm an artist whose work was being stolen for profit, Mary Fluker. But yeah. So let's hope he's a little less active now. Let's hope I'm less active, folks. Okay, this video is evidence of that not being the case. Sorry to say. Alright, now James Lynn is a special educational case we'll be addressing here. James Lynn is a tremendous liar. I'll actually click on read more here before I start, which would have been a good idea to do before I started talking. Here's a fun little story. I met Slimebeast in the chat for one of your very old live streams. Wrong. I have never been to a Nick Spheres live stream. That is a lie. He invited me to join his Discord server. Another lie. I have not invited anyone to join my Discord server. I just put the link in my descriptions of my videos and on Twitter and things like that. I don't invite specific fans or specific viewers or specific random people. I don't invite them and say, hey, check out my Discord server, like a 12-year-old trying to get people in to play Fortnite. So that is an absolute 100% lie on top of a lie. But what James Lynn has done here, through this dishonesty, is James Lynn has constructed a fake relationship between myself and himself. So, a little bit creepy. A little bit creepy there. And for months, I chatted in there with him and his pals, as well as other fans like myself. Okay? I have no idea who James Lynn is, by the way. It was an experience for sure. I ended up leaving because of the giant apocalypse that erupted in the community around the time frame you came out. Not related to you coming out, of course, won't go into detail, but everyone who was there just knows how the community blew up over various different things and it snowballed from there. Not related to you coming out, of course, but everyone knows how the community blew up. It's like this little sideways allegation bullshit. There has never been a giant apocalypse on my Discord. Every so often a group of people leave because they're jackasses. Sometimes I ban them, whatever. Anyway, I've talked to Slimebeast quite a few times. I have no idea who this is, though I'm not sure he would remember me, yeah. From what I hear from a friend who still lurks in the server, ooh, a spy, he's kind of playing King of the Hill in his echo chamber. I barely post on my Discord, you lying sack of shit, right now, and a lot of the people who were once his fans and supporters left. Who? Wow, okay. A lot of people who were once fans left. Okay, sure. Not sure who. It's a shame, really. I used to be a fan of some of his works. Oh, how the spooky fall. I guess I fell by James not liking me. And how ironic that out of everyone, you're still the one I watch and follow and none of the others. Anyway, ramble story. Great video as always. Love your hair in this video. Signed, James Lynn, comma, a liar. Fake Blood says, I complained about this creepypasta on Twitter and the author responded to me, haha. Well, guess what, Fake Blood? I'm responding to you again. Boom! Suck it. Lucky Stampede says, okay, so my big problem here is where the HFIL, head fucker in love, hot face iguana lizard, did they get the idea that North Carolina is even remotely tropical? Never said that it was tropical. The story never says North Carolina is tropical, you psycho. Or that Emerald Isle has plants? It's literally an overpriced sandbar, blah, 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 blah. But, it says near Emerald Isle in the fucking story. It says near! It says near! It says near! It says near! Can you people not read? Derek Johnson with a comment that I've heard many times, and this is a fair critique. I'm not, making fun of everything here. It may seem like I'm making fun of every single comment here, but I'm just sort of answering them to a certain extent, like in what I perceive to be a funny way. Derek Johnson says, honestly, the story could have been decent had it not for the dumb photo negative, Mickey. It should have just been D3AD people and normal decrepit mascots, and I miss creepypasta, to be honest. Here's the thing, Derek Johnson. If this story had just ended with, there were skeletons in the costumes and I ran away, you never would have heard of Abandoned by Disney. You never would have heard about it. Nobody would care about it. It's a tightrope that you walk. You want to keep things realistic, that's fine. But every so often you need your Jason Voorhees, your Freddy Krueger, your silly, icon pasta, like Jeff the Killer or Clockwork or whoever the fuck. Every so often you need something like that because it's interesting. It makes it interesting whether you love it or hate it. If it's divisive, then it did its job. It made you care. If it was just, I went to Disney World and there were, corpses in the mascot costumes and I left, it's a boring story. I'm sorry. Destiny DK says, watch out, Slime Beast will copy strike you. Very funny, Destiny DK. You're an idiot. Khalil Jackson Venny says, I always found the, hey, want to see my head come off scene so stupid. Like, the opposite of scary or creepy. It's unintentional black comedy. It's a removal of context away from being one of the shorter segments in an episode of Robot Chicken. Sorry, Khalil, but the black comedy is completely intentional. The entire story was actually based on a short creepypasta I wrote on the same forum where I posted this. Somebody started a thread and they said micropasta thread, where it's like 1 or 2 sentences. And so I wrote a micropasta where I wrote, beneath Disney World there's a photo-negative Mickey Mouse. When he pulls off his head, there's only blood. And then for the second sentence I wrote, and Goofy always has his dick out. It was just a dumb, stupid fucking joke that I, like a troll pasta spammy bullshit thing that didn't matter. And I decided to write a story around it. So when the character pulls his head off of his costume and there's just all this goop coming out, it's not unintentional. I didn't accidentally write the story. I didn't accidentally write Mickey Mouse pulling his head off and revealing a bunch of goop. That's not something that scares me in life. That's not something that terrifies me. I've never had a nightmare in which that happened. So yeah, this is a problem I see with a lot of people who talk about just basically any creepypasta or any story, is you're very ungenerous. You're very sure of yourself in the fact that nothing good about the story or nothing interesting about the story is purposeful and is all mistakes because the author must be a fucking idiot. Rao says, shoutouts to Slimebeast name searching me on Twitter and going after me. Never happened. I have never searched somebody's name on Twitter and gone after them. Nice try, dumbass. Then we've got House Rage. House Rage has a special point of view. I was editing for Bad Creepypasta when they covered Abandoned by Disney. Even though they showered compliments over Slimebeast, he still threw a shit fit because they pointed out some of the flaws of the story. Not since Mr. Creepypasta have I dealt with someone so full of themselves. They showered compliments over Slimebeast. They literally called me a cunt throughout the video. You fucking liar. You absolute fucking liar. He threw a shit fit because they pointed out some of the flaws of the story. Oh my god. For anybody who wants to go back and watch the tremendous video I made about Bad Creepypasta and all the bullshit they said about the story, like, why would Disney ever release sharks in the water? That's ridiculous when it legitimately is something that they were accused of doing in real life. Different things like that where I pointed out some stuff that was like critique that was sort of falling flat because it didn't make any sense. And I asked why they were attacking authors. Why did they attack creators? Something they went on to do after that as well. Bloody Painter. But yeah, so House Rage... you need to get out of the house a little more, and you need to maybe take some medication for that rage. It's clouding your judgment. Alright, last thing we'll be looking at here is Fighting Fangwang. Fighting Fuckface. I don't think he has changed, because last Pride Month, it was actually, what they're talking about was 2 or 3 years ago. It was not last Pride Month. When trans people were posting selfies, and not trans people, making up multiple lies here, he was quote tweeting them and making fun of them. Absolutely incorrect. I want you guys to remember this. We're gonna do a special thing here. Remember what this person has said here. I don't think he has changed because last Pride Month, when trans people were posting selfies, he was quote tweeting them and making fun of them. Remember that. Now here's what actually happened. On Twitter, I looked at an LGBTQ plus hashtag. And it was something about erasure or something, like not erasing members of the LGBTQ community, okay? I looked at it and it was all selfies. The entire hashtag was selfies of very, very attractive people just posting pictures of themselves with the hashtag, something about LGBTQ erasure. And I was like, and I posted up to my own Twitter. I posted my own tweet to my own Twitter. Not anything replying to any people in the hashtag, not replying to anybody who is trans or LGBTQ plus in any regard. And I posted up an original tweet, and I said, if you're going to make a hashtag about LGBTQ plus issues, it might be good to offer support and progressive information as opposed to vapid selfies of yourself looking good. That was my take. Now, you may not agree with that, but it damn sure isn't what this liar is claiming. Because from my standpoint, if you're going to have a hashtag that's about LGBTQ, the community, about support, not erasing people, so on and so forth, I think the worst way to do that is to make it into a beauty contest where people who aren't attractive are going to sink to the bottom and be erased. Pardon me if I get a bit irate. You fucking liar. But yeah, so I get a little angry sometimes because people like to paint me in a way that is absolutely untrue and just makes it so I'm always right, Slime Beast's a monster, I'm always right, tee-hee, he's bad. And it pisses me off because you're treating an actual human being who is on your fucking side of this issue, and you're erasing what I believe in who I am. Interesting. Edit. I forgot a detail, but if memory serves, he was also misgendering a lot. Absolutely not true. As we have determined, you are full of fucking shit. So I responded to Nick Spheres' tweet about the video, and I said, it's a shame your viewers seem so toxic. Jesus. Because as you could see from the comments I read, a lot of personal attacks, a lot of incitement of anyone who will listen, to believe that I'm an awful person and hate me and so on and so forth. Whatever. I can take it. I'm a big boy. But still, it's a shame your viewers seem to be so toxic. Actual point. There you go. The response, I'm not responsible for the actions of others. I just wanted to read your story. Maybe don't make a video where you're bullshitting about what's actually in the story. And maybe delete comments that are attacking other people in a toxic way. Maybe don't support bandwagoning. Maybe don't support hatred on your platform. Just a thought. At the very least, maybe you could ask me for information or ask others for more information as to what's going on instead of just replying, oh boy, as if it's true.